Welcome back to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. I'm very happy to be joined by one of my very good friends, my associates, one of my go-to people in Sedona, Nadi Hana. And today we're going to talk about this phenomena of crop circles. Now that there's so much UFO activity, and I think definitely UFOs are related to crop circles. And welcome, Nadi.
Thank you, Alan. Always a pleasure to see you and talk with you and just, see you again.
Right.
Has it been a couple of weeks? You left 2 weeks ago, right? Last week.
Last week, maybe.
I miss you already.
Both me and you were really excited about the crop circle phenomenon. Of course, they tried to be debunked, but guess what? They're not going away and they're back better than ever in 2023. So why don't you talk to us? I'll spotlight you and tell us what's your fascination. And actually, you're teaching a course in what, how to make crop circles? No.
Next year. I love that.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's really next level. But for a couple years now, I've been teaching about crop circles and really the metaphysical and the transformational aspects of them. We start off really briefly with here's some empirical data about everybody who makes them, because a lot of people do, a lot of beings do. And I don't want to spend too much time there, but all perspectives are welcome. Really, I love to go into the amazing technology that the genuine crop circles have, because they really have the capacity to work with our physiology, our system, our sensory abilities individually and also collectively, So my perspective is that they're here to help us activate and elevate and expand. And they're also here to help the planet, all sentient beings, all future sentient beings coming into the planet. They really are part of a template that is inviting us to connect to our galactic family, realize our place in the universe. It's fascinating. I'm so fascinating. So yeah, I'm doing
they're crop. Yeah, I think they're made by some beings. I don't think most of them are made by humans, but how do they affect our physiology? How do they interact if they're just in the soil, in the crops?
Right. Well, that's such a great question. We now have, for a while, we've had technology. Originally people used dowsing, right, to find the energy lines, underneath, the invisible patterns underneath the geometries. But they interact with us. There's actually evidence that suggests the interface between the photonic light that is used in the technology of some of them and how it works with our DNA, and really can open new capacities, dormant capacities in us. And here's just one example, recently, Freddie Silva, within the last 10 years, meaning, that the phenomenon's been really started coming into collective consciousness in 1990. And just about 10 years ago, we only then started measuring the sonic frequencies left in some of the genuine fields, right? So basically, whatever technology it is has the potential to do a lot of things. One of them leaving a basic theta frequency in the field that when we walk into it, it starts to align the hemispheres of our brain, which then allows for, contact with higher selves, with higher energies, benevolent beings that are here inviting us to expand. That's just one way. There are so many ways.
You say after the crop circle is made, however, some people say by plasma, there's a sound frequency that's still, what is it resonating with the crop, or how's it resonating in the land?
Well, I believe that they're measurable within the templates, right? Within the pattern. There's so many studies, over the decades that have measured a phenomenon, an electrostatic charge right inside the field and then just right outside the boundary. it's totally different. But I mean, you went into one, I mean, Alan, you spent many years, many trips going to them. So you've had those experiences of walking in and physically being changed and altered, right?
Like this was 2 years, 2008, 2010. I was really fascinated. And the first one I went into, I felt really dizzy. And then the one I went into, I felt like the Kundalini was being activated. Each circle is different. I don't understand how it's happening, but for a long time after 2012, there was a big lull in the crop circle season. And now this year, Nadi, they've come back. They're back. Before we show the pictures, tell us what your course coming up is about. Like, how are you teaching people to deal with crop circles and making contacts with ETs? Tell us.
Yeah. I'm so passionate about this. Alan, I would dispute a little bit that maybe there was a lull in the productivity, but man, there's been some showstoppers. I mean, and some real activating crop circles in the past decade. So, and that's part of how I've come online is I saw one and it was just like, oh, I want to be with these. You know, there was a compulsion, right? I just wanted to draw them. I wanted to study them. I wanted to talk with people about them. So I've been making these courses for since 2017, but I had an activation in 2010. I just didn't know it. So 2017, the flip got switched on, and I invite people, you know, in the courses, in the single courses, we're learning about what they call the biophysical anomalies, right? The physical changes in the soil.
Like,
right?
which changes? What changes are they?
Well, they they alter some of the genuine crop circles, alter the crystalline structure in the soil to the extent that the pattern that's made one year actually shows up in the field the next year. I mean, it's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I just started learning so much and more and more. And I got together with Zenka Caro here in Sedona, one of your favorite people, and on her LightNet platform, she put together a whole academy, right? She's putting together living libraries and curiosity labs of bringing people together to learn like about, you know, non-consensus reality things. And she's like, why don't we do a crop circle class? What do you want to do? I was like, 8 weeks of crop circles. And I had so much information and we had so much fun in the springtime with the group that signed on. We didn't want to stop after 8 weeks. We kept going. We had 12 weeks of crop circles, and we look at, you know, I could go on and on, so I want to make sure I'm not doing that, but we looked at the metaphysical. We looked at, you know, the anecdotal stories of spontaneous healings. We look at the advanced civilizations that are involved. We talk about what they mean and why they're here. And we draw them and we meditate with them. I do these binaural meditations like hemisync activation. It's like if you go into the field and then we just stare at them because it's really looking at them and the interface that happens. All right, so it's a 6 week, no, it's an 8 week course. It starts next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the 21st, and it's from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. And I've got a special promo offer for this call because I was just so excited to talk about them. We've got a promo code where I can give you $100 off of the class. So
that's great. So if you're looking at this, go to lightnet.org/Nadi, Nadi. If you want to take my remote viewing course and making contact, lightnet.org/ALAN, and you can get we'll learn together how to make contact and go off planet. And that's really exciting. But let's get the crop circles that appeared this year. I want people to see how amazing these new forms are. So we'll just go into like what's happening right now. Is this from Crop Circle Connector? You got that's the course.
Actually, you know, I should just do that really quick. The link will take you to this page. It's the LightNet, and what I want to add, and I'll come back on screen in a minute and add, is that to be a part of the Light Knit community is amazing as well. It's not just your course, mine, all of them. I'll talk about that in a second.
This
But
picture, can
I'm on
you
a
make it full screen?
Yeah, I'm on a mailing list where you can get updated the most recent crop circles, and also Crop Circle Connector is it's like an offshoot of Crop Circle Connector.
Okay, so when did this occur and where?
Oh man, so this one was in the end of May, and I never get the fields right. My apologies.
I was
Because
just this is the first crop circle of the 2023 season. It's a
yeah,
six slice. It looks like a spinning fan.
it does.
These symbols relate to, I don't know, they're symbols of technology, symbols of mythology, symbols of mechanism. I mean, I don't know what that means. Is that what I'd say to use, Nadi?
Yeah, hang on a second. I want to go to Crop Circle Connector so if people don't know about it, because they've got all sorts of really cool angles, right? So here's the trick. If you go on a Crop Circle Connector, it just does this for a minute, almost to like, I don't know, maybe throw off the scent if someone's looking for them. But here we'll look at how they do this. You can see 2023.
I want to say they have been tracking crop circles for the last 30 years or longer. And they are the best.
They're the best. So we'll click on this. Oh, there you go. It's Broadhinton. You get all the information. Broadhinton, River and Bassett, Wiltshire.
May 30th, about, I mean, 2 weeks ago.
May 28th, right?
Yeah.
And you get all these different beautiful angles, right? And this one really has some like three-dimensional movement to it. It's just, you get ground shots. And then on the website, you get all sorts of anecdotal stories from the people on the ground. Maybe some people experienced it,
What kind of stories, Nadi, are in the...
Well, this one, right? See, look at the motion in that. The lay really creates this kind of whirlwind effect, right? And that's one of the things we study is like how the lay of the crop is, part of it. Let me show you part of the stories. If you go up to, so you can see here field reports. I think comments are really where the interesting part. All of these aspects that we wouldn't know about, well, they usually happen on a Sunday, and there was this astronomical experience, and here's a little bit about the geometry. And then sometimes with diagrams, they will look at, you see them drawn, you see the geometry of them, it's a great study.
That's a great picture because it's the illusion that it's a kind of multi-dimensional spinning of a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll also put in a plug for Karen and Steve Alexander and their site, Temporary Temples. We can look at that.
Just about the design, Nadi, I want to say they often have 6 pointed somethings in the cross. 6 and 5 are common on kind of angles, points that are focus of these crop circles. For some reason, the 6 pointed, 5 pointed star reoccurring year after year. So this was May 28th this year, and then there was a second one. Or can you?
There was. What I want to add though is I feel like they sort of start us off slow, and they have the more simple designs of 5s and 6s, and then we build up. And that, I might just be spontaneously theorizing that, and that might not have a basis. But
because you know what, Nadi, that's how they started with the crop circles in the beginning in 1979, when Colin Andrews just noticed a very simple circle, and then as it progressed, the circles got much more complex. So that was the beginning on the 28th. That was a little late. This is from past. This one
started. This one. This was. Oh no, right. This was June 4th. So.
This June 4th right here.
This was June 4th of this year. They just did this one.
That looks like the early ones from the 80s, actually.
Yeah, that's part of the commentary, right? They'll go, oh, in this field, this happened, like it looks identical. And what's this about that they look the same? And,
Which field is that in? Because they usually show up in the same fields over and over. You're coming this summer, right? To
Oh, we're going together. Yeah. Well, wait, we're going to meet there, but I'm going with Neil and Joan.
I'm going to meet you there.
Yeah.
But Corn Bassett, yeah, that is right in the center of Wiltshire. It's not far from Avebury. And
Right.
these are old little towns that are really walking distance. And
Yeah.
these fields have different names, but they usually show up in the same fields every year.
Yeah. And, you know, there's all sorts of fascinating geomagnetic aspects to the, you know, the ley lines and why the majority of them are in the southwestern
Why?
counties of England, you know.
Why are they?
Well, lots of reasons, you know, same reason as there's so many sacred sites, because there's just supercharged um the supercharged energy because of the ley lines. And we'll look at this one. The
Just
ley
the
line
ley
convergence.
lines. It's the aquifer underneath the land that
Yeah.
filters through soil and chalk.
Yeah, the chalk. Yeah.
And the chalk is an organic material, and with inorganic material creating an orgone frequency, and with the water underneath charges it with a kind of plasma. So this is
Yeah.
what Nancy Talbert told me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you, Nancy Talbert?
Is it Talbot, Burke and Leningood? Yeah.
Yeah, Burke, BLT research. That was BLT Burke, John Burke, who I interviewed, who looked at stars and the and how things would grow on certain lines bigger, especially mounds like Silbury Hill.
Right.
Mound. And then there was BLT. What was the guy's name?
Levingood. Yeah.
Levingood would look at the seeds from crop circles and grow them, and found that they grow stronger and sturdier with less water if they were seeds from a crop circle.
Like more nutrients dense. Yeah.
Nancy Albert, who was a great researcher herself. I think Nancy's still around, but
yeah.
But let's see this. This one, how many points is that? This is like
it's 18. It's 18, isn't it? It's so beautiful.
The overview again. Can we see the overview of that? And this is in Texas, which is also a pretty popular place. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Pretty sure it's 18. I mean, the geometry of it, of these things is its own study, right? That's its own course, because
how many on the inner? 18 on the inner 18, as well?
Yeah, it's 18 on both. But you know,
they're trying to tell us something with this. I don't know why.
Right. Well, if you go 18, right, the 18 is 1 and 8, which is 9. So this is going to break down to 9, no matter how you go at 1 and 8 and 1 and 8 and 9 and 9 and 9. So the numerology, the geometry, you know, this is really a way where we can measure like a genuine crop circle. The accuracy usually has to do with more advanced technology.
You know what the crop they're doing this in, because it starts off with rapeseed, and it goes to barley, and then it goes to wheat, and then it goes to corn, but it's too early for wheat. So that was probably
maybe. I think this is the rapeseed, which we call canola, because it has that kind of yellowy tint.
But you know, the incredible thing about rapeseed, canola oil is that those stalks are so thick, you can hardly lay them down with a board, you know? And so it shows you this was definitely not made, that it's too uniform. And this is, those are tram lines for people just looking at crops. So these are the tram lines, those lines through it where the tractor goes up and down. I would say this one's about 100 feet or more across.
It's about 150, because each tram line, I believe is 50 feet. I'm not sure.
Right.
But you know what I recently, like, one of the things I recently started paying attention to is some of them you can go in the center of them and some of you can't. And this one you can't really go into, you know, it's walk through it. But there's all sorts of etiquette, you know, about respecting them. And
there is a crop circle etiquette book. You don't want to go on anything that's not already laid down.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You think it's a lotus flower, Nadi?
You know, part of the element of crop circles that I love so much is that it's totally unique to everyone's perspective. So you might say lotus, you might say sunflower, you might say stellated, ninefold geometry. I mean, the mystery and the lack of definition and the lack of a signage that says, here's what we meant by this. My favorite, let me come out of this real quick. My favorite crop circle enthusiast was a woman named Judith Moore. Did you know Judith?
No, I did know Francine Blake. I met her in a crop circle, but
That's a magical encounter. Yeah.
yeah.
So Judith Moore wrote a book with Barbara Lamb, who we know and love. And Judith's interpretation was channeled information from an entity called Leolin, who was a keeper of the records of Ra. And she was Judith, but the entity, was able to interpret and see star glyphs in the crop circles. And she could see that certain, templates were laid for the new star kids coming in, or that certain geometries were portals of energies to repair the waters, to repair the planet from the damage that we've done, or, certain templates for activating DNA. I mean, there's all sorts of interpretations, but there's no definitive as of yet, here's what this is. It's up to your consciousness, and they reflect your consciousness. And if you want to believe that they're irrelevant to our expansion, awesome, you can. Like, there's nothing wrong. Nobody's wrong. But there's infinite potential if you want to contemplate them as more and welcome them into your reality,
Well, I think they are tools to work with consciousness, to shift consciousness. They develop new patterns of perception. So this one was from today. Is this today's crop circle?
No. That was June 7th, right? And I want to go back and give mention, though. We were talking about how they're made mostly in southern counties of England, but this one was Italy, and it has its own feeling. What's that?
Where in Italy is that one?
Giulietta, Capriano del Colle, no, North. I don't know what the NR region, maybe North region, but I don't know Italy well enough. But usually you'll see one or two. I mean, they happen all over the planet, is what I wanted to add. They're not local to Europe. There's certain energy points like Oregon and Ohio and Russia, like those are comparable. But Germany, I mean, everywhere.
The Netherlands have a lot of crop circles.
Netherlands. And I think it has to do with energy points on the planet. But the reason I'm kind of...
Robert van de Kloek, do you know Robert? He would have things appear right in front of him.
No.
He would predict when a crop circle would show up. All right.
That's cool. Here's the last one.
Yeah, what is this from? Also.
Round way down, there are tons here, tons and tons every year. So
let me just look at this. I haven't seen this one. So go to a big, can we see the whole frame of that?
Let me find one.
Usually,
we can do this one. You want the one above it?
Can we look straight down at it?
Well, let's see what there, but it cuts it off a little bit.
Oh, but that's okay. Oh, I'm just counting the lines. I just want to see.
Yeah.
Let's see. This definitely looks like a multi-dimensional sort of.
Lots of movement. And that square is pure square. It's an optical illusion that the circle makes it look pointy,
Oh.
Yeah, it's a clean square. I love this view, but you can see what I mean by that. And then this pattern has happened before. The lines where they're opposite each other, like you can see here.
Well, let's see the overview. Wait, let me look at that. So that's a straight line across, and the circle makes the illusion. Oh,
yeah.
This is a multi-dimensional hint to some of reality.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. I mean, you always look at them, and some part of you is like, okay, so we're not there. We can't experience it firsthand. So how do we know? Is it, we don't want to get all jazzed about something that was man-made. And
But
there's so much.
it is affecting us just by looking at the picture.
Yeah.
It is.
And exactly. And it can really affect us positively. It has to do with the consciousness interface. These are high level technologies. And these things can be programmed for the positive. Like my belief is that, and this is from Judith Moore and Leolin in this sort of larger perspective, is that even, there's advanced origins, and then there are man-made ones, but even the man-made ones can be morphed and programmed to be positive. So there's really kind of no way to lose. And it's non-local technology. You don't have to be there for it to influence you. They're very powerful just by looking at them.
Affecting the earth as well.
Yeah.
And I think England does have an interesting electrical field, which is why they're mostly used there. And now people are used to going and looking at in Wiltshire County, this is Wiltshire County, Devizes, and that seems to be a popular place. There's also some incredible white horses in the mountains around. And
well, you love the white horses. They don't do anything for me, but that's okay.
They're incredible. They're man-made, obviously, but they are spectacular to see in the hills. There's about 20 in Wiltshire.
Yeah.
Well, this is fascinating. Maybe you can give dates throughout the season, Nadi.
Yeah. That's part of. Let me show you one more thing. You can see up here like comments and field reports, and there's a really interesting aspect to these. I haven't really studied it, but just so people out there know, temporary temples, Stephen and Karen Alexander, they catalog them as well, and they have amazing archives. They have decades of these images, right? So you can go to crop circles and then archive. I agree to the cookies. You can archive, find them. And then over here, look at this, 2023, all the way back to the 90s. And you can just click on every, and they have, I haven't looked for, is it 2023? They have classes. I've done so many classes where you can draw them. So you can see here, they've got them cataloged, and I just want to give mention to them. They have pioneered, them. I mean, they have kept a lot of the exposure and availability.
Crop circles are coming back because there was a couple of years where they were scarce. That.
Yeah, and, much less than before. Yeah, for sure.
But now maybe this will be a great season. Maybe we'll see some when we're there. That'd be amazing.
Well, that's why I'm going. I'm just going to go crop circle hunt. And what I realized is the course, honestly, when I put together the course, it didn't register that it's actually happening during crop circle season. So we're going to be having just like this. We'll have live, latest in breaking. What is the latest breaking news? And then I'll be there for the last 2 weeks of the course. So if I find one, I might even figure out a way to be in one for a class.
Yes, let's broadcast from the circle.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Nadi. So people wanted to course, or what do they do again?
Yeah. Let's see. I put the link. You're gonna put the link in there.
I paste it into but I put it in the description as well.
That's the LightNet. That's the LightNet link. And then, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm really happy you're still so excited about it. Fred from Sedona is really. I went to England with Fred. We'd hike out into the fields to see these circles that were in the middle of nowhere, and they were really rewarding. And we went into the hyper tetrahedron one. That was pretty good in 2010.
That was pretty good, huh?
8881, August 8, 2008. That was fantastic. That was the one that raised my Kundalini. So there are activations that happen in these formations. And I met Barbara Lamb for the first time in a crop circle.
I love Barbara. Yeah. For so many reasons.
To go.
Yeah, I didn't bring them with me right now, but we love drawing the crop circles, right? It's just like drawing geometry, sacred geometry, which is the other thing I love to do. because it's in training our system to the harmony of the geometry and the geometries in the crop circles.
Yeah.
But Karen and Steve have their courses. I think they start in the fall, where they choose one crop circle, they study it. I've done a lot of their courses. You draw one. They are a wealth of information as well. And then the course, my course starts next week on the 21st. It's 8 weeks, so it goes through August, and it's 6 to 8 p.m. And the thing of it is it's on the LightNet platform. It's on Zenka's amazing community, organization. And Alan, you're a part of that. And so many people, like when you buy this course, you're getting access to community calls, special, guests that are doing amazing spoon bending, like looking at the power of, remote viewing or channeling or light language. I mean, she has so much cool stuff, and you get access to the recordings. You can look at all the different courses. So you're kind of signing up for one, but you can jump in and meet people and have, weekly meetings if you'd like. I feel so grateful. She's amazing.
.org, Zinka Caro's doing I would say a cosmic university of ET contact. It's definitely a site to check out, lightnet.org. I'm a part of it. I'm teaching a remote viewing course. Nadi teaches a crop circle course. There's a channeling course. There's a dream course. There's these strange radio things you can take a course. There's so much going on there. So
well,
Nadi,
one more thing. Lots more things. But Zenka, I think 2 weeks ago, she took like 50 people out for a contact, out in the on the ends of the field. Were you there for that?
Yes.
That's what she loves to do.
Oh yeah. Great making. That's where I saw a ship with night vision go from a triangle pointing up to one pointing down. I said, that is a real UFO. That was like that was one that defied everything I thought was possible. And so
I heard there were a couple of cool sightings. I mean, people having their own independent, communication. But
Nadi,
I'll round it up. Let me say one last thing. I've got a really great deal for that course. We're offering it for $369. It's because it includes so much. You're getting access to so many courses, but I'm offering $100 discount, so it's really closer to it's closer to $250. It's $269. And if you're interested, reach out to me, please. I want you to be able to join.
How do they reach out to you? How do they reach out to you?
Yes, I will put this in I'll give you the information. But my website is Galactic Rose Geometry, and I do a lot of classes about sacred geometry and light language and all sorts of cool stuff. And also can we put my email in there so that people could reach me directly?
All in the chat. Galactic.
Yeah. So it's
Galactic Rose.
GalacticRoseGeometry.com, and Sri Yantra workshops, 8-week courses on drawing sacred geometry. I love to talk with people about our multidimensional nature.
What's your email then?
It's flow into being, FLOWINTOBEING. That's a Gmail.
Gmail.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Nadi. I gotta go, but always
I know, me too.
Chat with you, and thanks for doing this. And we will meet again.
We'll see each other soon. All right, Alan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really good. Excellent. Check out crop circles again. Crop circles are real. They're phenomenal, and they're changing the molecular vibrational frequency of the earth.
Yeah.
And you feel it, especially in Nadi's course.